Hey everyone, welcome in. It's another edition of the Doug Russell Television Show right here on SportsRadio1250.com. Everyone is still abuzz about the NFC Championship game from Sunday, even a couple of days later after Brett Favre threw that, to some, game-losing interception at the end of regulation. A couple of things. Number one, it was a terrible interception. It was a terrible throw. There's no question. There's no defensing exactly how bad of a decision that was. But a couple of things. Number one, Joe Buck said on the broadcast that Favre could have scampered for 15 yards. I don't know if Joe's seen Brett run lately, but I'm thinking closer to 5, which would have set up about a 52-yard field goal for Ryan Longwell. Certainly well within his capabilities, but also not a chip shot by any means. Also, the Vikings didn't lose that game because Brett threw that terrible interception. They lost the game because they fumbled the ball twice inside the red zone and turned it over 5 times overall. You can't expect to win any game if you're going to turn it over that many times. But a couple of other things. You know that in the NFC, in the last 9 years, there have been 9 different teams that have gone to the Super Bowl. Now, one of those teams is not the Green Bay Packers. We had a couple of callers earlier in the week that said, if the Vikings go to the Super Bowl, then Ted Thompson should be fired. Ted shouldn't be fired or hired or extended or anything based on what another team does. Ted should only be judged based on what Ted does. But one of the things that is fair is that of those 9 teams, the Green Bay Packers, again, were not one of them. The Packers have to be a Super Bowl contender year in and year out and actually get there, especially concerning the way that there's been a lot of turnover in that big game in the NFC. More teams have not made the Super Bowl more teams have made the Super Bowl than haven't made the Super Bowl, but there have been a couple of other big teams as well, not just the Packers, but historically fantastic franchises that have not gotten that far. So just keep that in mind. Also, I take no pleasure in the interception that Brett Favre threw. I take no pleasure in the pain that Brett is feeling right now, unlike a lot of Packers fans. Again, it goes back to my argument last week that without Brett Favre, the Super Bowl run of 1996 never would have happened. In fact, if it weren't for Brett Favre, Reggie White would have never come to the Packers, and without Reggie White, he brought in guys like Keith Jackson and Santana Dotson and Eugene Robinson and Sean Jones. He helped bring all those players to Green Bay, and that's what helped transform the Green Bay Packers into a Super Bowl champion back in 1996. Just a couple of things to keep in mind. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning starting at 5 on the Doug and Mike Radio Show, right here on SportsRadio1250.com, and, of course, on AM 1250 WSSP Radio.
Doug Russell Show. Doug Russell Show.